Right.
Seconds.
Hold on, wait till he gets back with his beer.
Well, we got time.
We're
We're beer cart and everything.
Yeah. The one I was telling you about, you go to YouTube.
Well,
Hey,
pre-roll,
look, we're in
because
pre-roll.
everyone can hear us and we act like we can't.
And we hold they can't.
And then we hear us.
Yeah, this guy.
And then we feel like fools.
Everyone go on mute, please. Mute.
As we probably should have in the first place. We should have felt like fools anyway.
Where he meets like the actual people that the speed stars are based on and everything, and he just lives over there. I don't know what he does, but he's got a
Look
channel
at that
of, like,
pre-roll.
vlogs and all kinds of other stuff. But
Dan tells me
a lot
about
of it are all
and goes,
about, you know,
YouTube
like
suggests the video.
real life versus animators.
And he literally all he did was send me a
Oh, I am
Facebook
excited.
message. How you send
Now you know
I'm
what's
kind
hot?
of hopped up.
You know, like
What? Is that why your nipples are so hard?
Yeah, that's exactly what my nipples are
Yeah,
so
when
when
hard.
actually
goes,
like
show
tailgate
videos
and
of it.
meets and
That's
stuff like
awesome.
that. It's really
That is awesome.
Among other reasons. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I just recommend Warlords that tried it all.
I'm here.
I don't know why.
Well, we're here too.
All right.
Sweet.
My
All right.
understanding is
I have pre-roll on all 3 channels.
pre-roll on all 3 channels. Ready?
Re-roll your face.
Hey,
Promise. That's pretty damn good. And wait, make sure pregame is not on my cam 2. Cam 2 is not good.
Cam
Which
2's
is
bad.
cam 1.
2's bad.
Cam 2 is cam 1.
Lord.
I really gotta reverse those.
This is Camp 2?
It's really cam 1. That's
That's
cam
cam
1,
2.
but it's marked cam 2 on the thing. It's because
Uh.
we reversed him at some point during one of those episodes we were
We're having tech issues.
Yeah, where we were drunk.
Probably
could be
when
that
the
too.
polarity of the Earth switched.
Or both.
Or both.
And
So
3.
it's opposite day.
And 2. And live from the 6th subfloor basement of the Guys, Games, and Beer Towers. It's the greatest darn podcast in the state of Wisconsin. Recorded at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays with a guy named Larry. Guys, Games, and Beer!
Hooray!
Heck yeah!
Wow. Such enthusiasm, Tyler. We appreciate
Always.
that. All right. Hey, we should probably do.
Beer Court!
Da-da-da-da.
Dun!
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Beer Court. And I'm waiting for the logo to roll in. There we go.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, so on Beer Court tonight, we've got something from our buddies at Central Waters Brewing. We've done some of their beers before, and I think pretty much everything we've gotten from them has been a thumbs up. I can't think of anything bad we've had from Central Waters yet. So they
This is
just...
the first time for everything.
That's true. They just celebrated their 20th birthday, so they have their Double X. This is
Not triple.
a oak
That'd be a
bourbon barrel aged beer. So our buddies were up there, Bryce and Mel, and I hear Bryce was selling these off at a profit after picking up a few extra ones.
And they scalping beer.
And so they grabbed yeah, he's scalping beer.
You can't say that on the air.
Yeah, well, I just did. Sorry, Bryce. So we
There's no proof of it.
I mean,
Yeah, there's no proof
39
of it,
Main
exactly.
Street.
So we got a couple of bottles of this we're going to give a try tonight. So let's go ahead and grab a bottle and pour it out, guys.
It's very dark.
It is very dark. Holy crap.
Holy. That's his.
Yeah, that's like,
That's as dark as my soul.
Yeah.
sucks light around it.
I'm just saying, if your left nut was this color, you'd be at the doctor's.
I would hope long before
Ooh,
it gets
man,
to
it
this
smells
color,
good
you
though.
should
It's
really
Wait, we got one.
see a physician long
It
before.
smells like
Oh my
bourbon,
God.
all right. It smells like bourbon.
Oh God.
It smells like
Wow.
chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right, gentlemen, shall we? Let's give this a try.
Oh Jesus shit.
Yeah, that's whiskey face,
Oh.
right?
You know, that's...
Oh, that's smooth.
Delicious.
My ass.
Oh, come on, we drink Jameson. This is smooth compared to Jameson.
I'm a little surprised. I expected more.
Wow.
More chocolatey.
More. What's he doing?
Right up front, your body is like preparing itself to be like, oh man, this is like a shot of bourbon or something.
I like it. I don't know what Ryan's problem is.
I'm
I'm
kind of
not,
with you on that
actually,
too.
I don't not like it. I
Oh,
actually
okay.
do like it.
Okay.
But I'll tell you
It's
right now,
strong.
man, you
I wasn't expecting
you
it.
taste the bourbon.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, you taste the bourbon in this.
Yeah, it's delicious.
You know, this is
yeah, it
another
really
one where
is.
you could try the trick where if you don't breathe while you swallow, that
Oh boy.
that
Maybe-
you
maybe-
won't get.
Oh,
Just
Larry.
Because
Larry.
Really?
I did it just because
I
I
know.
figured
Larry,
someone else.
you're gonna go there.
No, but it's a trick that if you don't inhale.
Okay, Clint. Okay, Clint.
Can't do that. Makes it much better.
The point is,
Don't inhale,
you won't
Larry.
get the burn
Don't
then.
inhale.
No, I think you know that maybe that's the case, but I kind of like the bourbon burn on this one.
Yeah, I like it.
Wow, it's that's impressive. I thought it was gonna be a little more chocolate coffee,
Yeah.
because it's such a dark ale. But you know something? No, it's
I kind of like that.
I
It's
think
not,
it's just
'cause
coffee
the last
enough,
couple
though.
ones were really.
yeah.
It's got a little bit of coffee.
No,
in
you
it,
can taste the
definitely.
coffee too.
No,
It's good.
so I get the sort of unsweetened chocolate kind of.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
That's good,
but
too.
but enough of those notes in it that goes well with the bourbon taste. I mean, I gotta tell you, it tastes like freaking bourbon. Okay, it's
does.
you can taste the bourbon.
It's a phenomenal beer.
It really is. Holy
I had
crap!
some at Winter Run Fair. Mel had some with her.
Oh, did she? Oh, she didn't share with me.
Yeah, I had some. It was fucking delicious.
All right, what the hell?
What the heck, guys?
Well, it's maybe
Shameful.
because she likes us better. I don't know.
Shameful.
Evidently.
Hey, I showed her pictures of kittens. So
Okay, well that's how you got it.
Well, it doesn't have the. They're hiding the alcohol content on it.
I'm gonna bet you it's right up there.
I bet it's like a 12.
I don't think it's that high. I'll find out.
Yeah, find out. It's
The
not a
internet
12.
knows everything.
Yeah, it's not like dragon's milk, but it's definitely. I'm gonna bet you up there. I'm gonna bet you it's in the 8s.
I'm gonna go with
Oh, it's got to be stronger than that.
You don't think so? I think it's in the 8s.
10.
Yeah, I'm thinking 10.
Well, Untapped doesn't have it listed.
Yeah.
11.2.
All right. Well. Okay.
11.3.
Well, gentlemen, I say we should pass verdict on this beer while we're looking up the alcohol content.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. It is a
Smells good.
Larry, really?
Yeah.
You're not okay. Well, it.
Always difficult.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. It is not okay.
All right. Well, it was okay with me, Larry. It's not okay with Tyler. So it's pretty much a unanimous thumbs up, besides Larry, who gave it a kind
His
of.
was trending.
It was trending up.
Yeah.
Trending up. I don't know if one of the ways if I'm a full thumbs up, I would walk into a bar and say, yeah, I want this.
Right.
Right.
I don't think I would necessarily do that. With
Yeah,
it.
well, see,
But if someone said,
Wait,
hey, I'll
you wanna get
this
drunk-
for you. I'll get this for you. You want it? I'd
Yeah.
be like, yeah, okay.
But I'm a whiskey drinker, so
yeah,
to me this is
and
yeah.
I'm not as much into the hard.
Yeah,
so.
I know. So no, for a whiskey drinker, this is just fine.
Have you tried Stranahan's Colorado whiskey? It's pretty good.
No, I have not, but
it's
but
really
St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and whiskey tends to flow. So
You want one, you can buy a bottle right now for $50 with free shipping.
holy crumb, what?
From our friend.
So wait, yeah, Bryce has got a website now. They're scalping these for $50 a
people
bottle.
are scalping this shit.
Jesus.
There's Big one on bucks.
Hey,
Craigslist.
fair enough.
People get
That's
crazy.
capitalism.
All
at
right.
its
All right,
Corner in the corner.
Judge Rob, pass sentence on this beer.
Count one of dorking Count Chocula's mom. Sorry, I totally fucked that up.
So,
Guilty. Count 2, knowing where my bourbon is, bitch. Absolutely. And I sentence you to
Drinking!
Now, before we fully end beer court, we have a guest who has a beer. What are you drinking, George?
Oh, it's weak today. It's a Michelob Ultra. Sorry.
It's still beer. It's still
Kind
beer.
of.
Yeah.
And that brings up
But
the point.
I tell you though, with the racing stuff related, I found this this stout. It's called Speedway Stout, and that's kind of like my new go-to. It's awesome.
Ooh,
So next time, I'll have one of those.
I'm thinking we'll have to do a beer court on that.
Now that is not a stout that's
I'll
only sold at Speedway, right? The gas station.
I'll send you guys a couple bottles, and then you can do the beer court with it. It's
Heck
good
yeah.
stuff.
All right.
All
So
right.
Rob, what's going on tonight, Rob?
Well, we got George, and he's with.
Lionheart Racing Series.
Yay! Okay, so George, what is Lionheart Racing Series?
Lionheart Racing Series is a league that utilizes the iRacing.com service. We're an online IndyCar open wheel racing league. It's really exciting. We've been around for 4 years now. It's head-to-head IndyCar racing online with other human players. It's unlike anything that you'd find on consoles. It's the real deal. It's close to being in the cockpit in a real car as you can get, and it's a lot of fun.
It's all so like the races are 100% other players, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's definitely all against other human players, and everyone is using a wheel and pedal set. So again, it kind of adds to the immersion, to the realism. The view is from the cockpit, so there's no arcade type views. It's really, really cool stuff, guys.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Rob, you look like you had something you wanted to say? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. So iRacing is the iRacing.com, I'm sorry, is the backbone of what you're doing. But you've now formed a league that uses iRacing, and that's the Lionheart Racing Series. How many people in the league?
You know, we fluctuate. There's about 65 members that are active that are currently assigned to either the IndyCar or the Retro Series roster. But we are always bringing in new drivers. We're always looking for, the up-and-coming guys that are interested in the league. And we try to find ways to incorporate them. And eventually they sometimes can find their way into the official main roster. But there's about 65 guys strong that are running on a weekly basis in our races.
Wow, that's actually a fair amount of people. And, so the average race is how many people?
We max out our actual roster to 44 cars per race.
Okay.
That will fluctuate, from time to time, but we average definitely close to 35 cars a race.
Wow. All right, so
and they're event based. They're scheduled and fixed time, and so it's not just like I get online now and I'm gonna
drop into a race.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we actually have our season is predetermined. We're pretty much we're on the doorstep to starting both of our seasons for 2018. But the schedule, it's on our website. You can view the whole thing. Again, one of the cool things about iRacing.com is they're all real world tracks. So we're visiting like tracks that you might be quite familiar with: Indianapolis, Pocono, Michigan, Fontana, some of the great road courses like Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Barber. Again, that adds also to the realism because we're doing these real world tracks.
So you said you were starting both of your seasons. What do you have multiple seasons?
Well, yeah. So we're the Lionheart Racing Series, and then under that umbrella is two individual series. So we have the IndyCar, which is our primary series. It's the one that's been running since the Lionheart Racing Series was conceived. And then we decided to start something new, which is using the Lotus 79, and that's called our Lionheart Retro Series. So obviously it's the Lotus. It's from 1979. So we use that car to kind of model 1980s IndyCar action from those times, and that car is a beast. It is so much fun to drive. It's powerful. It's got tons of downforce. The engine sounds alone are just amazing. I mean, when you sit in that thing and you take it for a spin around the lap, it really pulls you in.
Okay, now wait a minute. Before you go much further, the way you just described it, it must really pull you in. I mean, that's the way. So we've got a couple of people who actually did real racing on the show, and the way you just described that is the way they talk about when
I was pits only, man.
Well, yeah, but the way they talk about...
I did a couple street races, but once I caught on fire.
So the way that pulls you in is really amazing.
Now, the Lotus, I don't necessarily remember it exactly, but are you talking basically like the classic Foyt car, or...
Well, if you remember the John Players special, the car that Mario Andretti won the Formula One World Championship in, that is the car. That's the Lotus 79. I mean, that's the thing. Like the immersion factor, the realism that the drivers feel when they're competing and they're running laps on this service. It it's as close as you can get to actual racing. The beauty of it, like you said, is in the simulation world, if you crash, you're not hurt. And then also real world racing can be extremely expensive. So this is something that, guys can get into, get serious about, but obviously not break the bank.
So, well, now wait a minute. I have heard that this can be pretty pricey too.
It was going to be my next.
Well, that is true. That is true. I mean, it literally, like I've said, it can go from mild to wild. Entry level equipment. Obviously you need a pretty decent PC to run the iRacing.com software. So that alone, obviously you need a good PC. But as far as wheels and pedals, you can get an entry level wheel and pedal set for probably about $350, and then from it literally runs the full spectrum. So like high end stuff, just the wheel alone.
Sounds fractions cheaper than a car.
Wait, I want to hear how much is the high end wheel?
The high end wheel is, I mean, it can be close to $1,500.
Yeah, so for you guys' league,
That's like flight people.
for you guys' league, you don't have you don't have some kind of requirement where everybody's got to run like a Fanatec wheel or something, then, right? I mean,
So that's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Is like, is there like a very good competitive advantage to having like the $1,500 one, say to the entry level 300 one, where it adds that much advantage where you got to have requirements like that?
Okay, so again, the Fanatec versus just the off the shelf 300. Big difference.
I would have to, so I would have to say yes and no, because we have guys with entry level wheels that they're what we'd like to call aliens, and they are very good and they are winning races. The races in our series are ultra competitive. We have some of the best guys on the iRacing service, and there's guys with those entry level wheels, and they're just killing it. But then you start to go into the higher end wheels, and that immersion, that the force feedback is more true. So you're getting more information in, because that's the thing about simulation racing, right? So in the real world, you have all of your senses. In sim racing, you have your ears, you have your hands, right? So the more feedback you can get from the wheel, that can relate to being better on track. So some guys are just naturally very good, and they can take that entry level equipment and still be very competitive. So it's
kind of like real life.
it's 50-50 with that, But
Yeah, you kind of get into a bit of the margins, like and sometimes someone needs a little better equipment to get to that next level. Some people can just do it, And,
true. One of the biggest upgrades, really, for anyone, it would be pedal sets. So you have your basic pedal set, and then you have kind of the middle of the road, which actually the brake is a load cell, similar to like you'd see like a bathroom scale uses.
all right, hold on, because our major tech guy had
So I worked for a scale and detection company.
Oh, very good.
And so when you started talking about load cells, it again, for doing brake, for measuring force on your brake, that's the way to do it, because you know exactly how much pressure you're putting on the brake at that point. So it makes the world of difference.
So when I slam down on it, it would understand.
Oh, every little bit of that
I've slammed down on it.
And again, it'll measure every from the start to finish. It measures the entire length of the waveform.
But if I'm just slightly waffling it,
it would be the same thing.
That's the important part. It's the slight waffle.
The slight waffle when you're braking. Yeah.
I think
you don't want to slow down too much. You're racing.
So cheap brake systems use what's called a rheostat or a potentiometer that just measures resistance as you push down harder. But that's not a good way to do it. Whereas a load cell measures force. So that's the way to measure braking.
And then on the top tier of that would be your hydraulic braking system. So that's even the
Torn out of a semi-truck.
Real car. Yeah.
They actually have hydraulic braking systems?
Yes. Yeah, actually, well, the title sponsor to our retro series is HPP Simulation, and they produce a beautiful hydraulic pedal set. It's C machine. It's just, it is state-of-the-art stuff. It's really cool. So again, like I said, you really can go from entry-level stuff all the way to like pro-level stuff, and there's ways to be competitive on every level.
People just hit the internet.
You have the wheel and you have the pedal and you put it on your kitchen table, and boy, I gotta tell you, it just doesn't seem to work very well. What do the guys do about that?
Yeah, so some guys race at their desks. Some guys will custom build what we call rigs. Some of them will be built out of wood. Some guys will do PVC, and then there's kind of more like your prefab. They'll use like tubular metal frame, and then some guys will use what's called 80-20. It's an aluminum profile tubing, and basically it's like an erector set for adults. You can really custom build those rigs. And that's the thing, like high-end wheels with high levels of force feedback, like these direct drive wheels, they need a purpose-built rig because those forces are so strong. I mean, it'd rip through a computer desk like it was nothing.
All right, so I mean we had a gentleman on probably almost 3 years ago now who did racing rigs. He did
DIY racing.
Yeah, he actually had a Kickstarter on this. But my question to you is, do you guys, so that's quite a range of rigs. Anybody doing like gimbal setups?
Not that I've heard from our guys. A lot of them are using the 80-20, and some are they've got just custom setups. But yeah, the majority of the guys, I think they're going with 80-20 now. They're kind of moving into that range. Yeah. Because they want to build it just, for them.
It's highly customized.
Yeah,
that's what we use at my work for our manufacturing lines. Is we literally build the stuff we manufacture on lines built out of the A20 extruded aluminum.
Really? All
yeah.
right.
Because I mean, that would probably be the set that if you were going to do a gimbal.
Right.
You'd build a cage,
right?
And then you put it on a gimbal. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so and that makes sense. I mean, most of the people, I mean, I can see the gimbal actually being a distraction from when you're trying. If
fun. Fun,
yes. But if you're trying to do well, you really don't want this moving around.
Corner?
Okay? Yeah. No. It's going to put you at a disadvantage versus other racers who are sitting nice and stationary in a nice solid rig.
Well, I mean,
there is another way to add some more immersion, and there's if you guys have heard of the product called Butt Kicker, which is basically a tactile transducer, so guys can attach those to their rigs, and they actually will vibrate and simulate engine vibrations.
Sounds very erotic.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's got potential.
Hey, Tommy, you think you can make the
interactor?
Sega?
The interactor? You bet. Man, I can get the interactor to do that. I guarantee you.
Can you tell? Right between your legs.
Can you tell us about? So I follow a couple of the. They're not quite as high end as the using the iRacing series, but I do follow a couple of sim leagues that run like drift racing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And obviously, that's a big. The hydraulic braking system and all that stuff is what is very big. Is a big deal for them because obviously that's a main component in entering drift. But a couple of guys I follow, I mean, they've gone so far as to buy like an actual like Brid racing seat and mount it to like a piece of MDF and then build the whole rig around that. I mean, can you tell us about your rig? I mean,
yeah. So actually, that's one of the things that I'm trying to move into is the 80-20. I have a racing style seat, and unfortunately, because I'm running the league, I need the productivity of having a desk. So I'm one of those guys that has the wheel mounted to their desk, and I have kind of a racing style seat that I pull in close, and it serves the purpose for now. But yeah, that's one of the things I'm definitely looking to upgrade for this season is to try to get that 80-20 going.
Wait a minute, before we go too much further, want to give a big shout out, Ben!
Hey, Ben!
Hi, Ben!
Fuck you, Ben. I love you.
Wow. Wow.
Fair enough.
I said I love you.
Now, when you go into the iRacing series, the software, it doesn't require all these things, but you specifically said earlier that, it's wheels and pedals. Is that your league's requirement?
Actually, I want to ask that too.
I mean, that's certainly a requirement of our league. I mean, guys can go in and use a controller. However, again, the whole premise of this, right, is the simulation aspect to it. So, I just think that obviously if you're simulating trying to drive a car, especially for us, for our league, you got to have the wheel and pedals. I mean, it's it's just one of the things that we really feel strongly about. But yeah, I mean,
So
guys can
you
do it.
ostracise that
There's
guy?
all levels. There's
The
casual,
controller
and then there's,
bitch over
the
there?
more hardcore. I mean, you can really get what you put in is what you get back. So, but for us, I mean, we've been around for a while. The guys are really dedicated. It's kind of become, more towards the hardcore side, and it's actually really exciting because these guys are so dedicated.
So a regular race, real world race, that is 100, 150 laps, takes an hour and a half, depending on the track, especially. I mean, is this real world time? So if I'm sitting in the cockpit and I start this race, I ain't using the restroom for an hour.
You are correct. It's one of the things about the iRacing service is that all these tracks are laser scanned.
Yep.
So every bump, every inch of that track it translates into the sim. So when you're going on, say, like for example, we run a Indianapolis 500. It's 500 miles. So you're doing
Takes about 2.5 hours.
Every lap is exactly like the real Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So yes, that our races there, our Indy 500s have taken 3.5 plus hours.
So
Road
road trip peak.
like obviously you need pit stops, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
and
is
that's
that
one
a
of the
chance
things,
to
again,
like
it's,
jump out of your
fuel,
race and go use
fuel
the...
strategy, pit stop strategy, like all these things. There's damage. It all falls into play. Like guys have live spotters. Guys are using timing and scoring software. It's
Dang.
it's legit. Yeah.
So
it's
do
really
you?
cool.
Oh, don't avoid the question. Do you guys use P cups?
No, you just go.
Just go. Okay. Diapers and
It's your damn house, and you do whatever you want. That's right.
Well, I mean, you might use the Stadium Pal.
That's right.
All right, George. So let's talk a little
They
bit.
just build it around their toilet.
Before we get back into the league, because I got a ton more questions on the league, let's talk a little bit about iRacing, the service you're using.
Yeah.
So a lot of leagues use that service. Do you guys pay a collective fee to them, or is it individually people just buy the iRacing and then you just join that way?
So the iRacing.com, it's a subscription based service. So you obviously everyone pays their yearly subscription to iRacing, and then the league section is just another feature that's built within iRacing. So once you basically set up your league, it's really up to the league owners how they want to run it. There's no further interaction between iRacing and league owners. So, but the nice thing is we have a lot of tools that are available to us as far as how we want our races to go. We can we basically create our own private servers. We determine how many laps, how the setups. The league builds the setups and we provide the setups for the members. All of those little variables and factors, they're all in our hands. So that's nice.
So, just on iRacing, there's many different styles. So you got your NASCAR, your dirt track. You got several different. But you focused in on the Indy or kart.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've been a fan of open wheel racing since I was a kid. It's just something that I've always been passionate about. I was a fan forever, but the problem with that is growing up there was really none of my friends, none of my family, no one else was really into racing. So I just this was more of a private hobby or a passion for me. So I played other racing simulations in the past and then just kind of fell out of sim racing. And it was just one night where I'm like, I found iRacing, just happened to type in Google IndyCar simulation, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? So I joined the service, and my main goal was to start running the IndyCars, and I found a really great group of guys that I met, and basically the idea sparked. I said, you know what, let's make our own league, and I had a few guys helping me out, and we just got this thing rolling, and it's been great. Like I said, this July is going to make 4 years now that we've been doing this, so it's really cool.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I actually have a question now. So you said the league and stuff is built into the iRacing platform. Now, besides obviously paying the subscription to iRacing, is there any like fees, or is it just like something you can do within it, built in for free?
Yeah. So creating your own league is basically, to my understanding, it's free.
Okay.
You just
Have to have the
there's
time
a league
investment.
page, yeah. Now, us specifically, I mean, we have our own entry fees that we charge the members, and we turn those entry fees and bring it back into the purse. Actually, this year is so exciting because we've pulled in several outside sponsors. So collectively, between the IndyCar Series and the Retro Series, we're over 10 grand in cash and prizes. So it's really
Holy
exciting.
crap! Holy shit!
Yeah, we're really proud of what we've.
That can pay for your rig.
And actually, I have one more question.
I
So,
have to win first. These other guys are beating them is going to be a real handful. But
so obviously
someone's going to win some cool stuff.
the investment for this is pretty steep, even going the entry level at $300 for like a basic setup, whatever. Now, for the iRacing subscription, how much is it for for the subscription itself?
Yeah, it's $99 a year. However, when
not
guys first sign up, they have a lot of deals.
It's
You know,
40%
they
off
bring
right now.
in and you get a discount on.
That's what I was kind of curious for someone who hasn't tried it and they wanted to get in it. If there were like deals or like things like that.
Justin, say that again.
I said I just pulled up the website right now, and it's 40% off. New members
So,
right
if you
now.
guys are interested in this, 40% off right now.
Always members, they get the perks.
Okay, I gotta ask a question. So you yourself were just a race fan. Do you guys? I mean, this is so realistic, and you can so deep dive into this. Do you get a lot of people who actually were actual race drivers who come into this?
You know, there's a few guys that we've had. A lot of them have been karting guys who've won championships in karting. There's some other guys that even progressed a little bit more in the, I believe, Formula Ford. Some guys have run. It varies, you know, but there are some guys out there with some real world racing experience, so it's kind of cool.
Okay, I have to ask, how do they do compared to the non real world racers?
You know what? I think they tend to do really well because
Oh, all right.
they've got great feet. You know, the throttle and brake management that these guys have. I mean,
That makes sense.
It's awesome.
So
And
it does make a
shows
big difference. All right.
So now,
Wait, Justin?
I don't know, you
Oh, okay.
kind of a side point. Just since you obviously sound like a fan, have you gone to Indy and how many times?
Oh yeah. Well, I've been to Indy now probably about 4 or 5 times. I was there for the 100th. That was the last time. Actually, well, the 100th and the 101st. It's definitely, like they say, it's the greatest spectacle in racing. I've been out to Milwaukee. We've been to Iowa. Actually, we have a yearly league meetup where a lot of the guys from the league we meet and we go hang out and we watch the race. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, seeing Indy cars live in person. I mean, really any form of motorsport. It's thrilling, you know, and it's exciting. And there's nothing like it being there.
Well, Indy's a different experience just because.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. It's a
the
madhouse.
race is amazing, but the 250,000 people partying is also an experience.
Awesome, very good.
A snake pit.
So everything you're talking about is really like, it's really speaking my language. I mean, I'm very much a car guy myself, and follow some of the iRacing leagues and spend a lot of time, at drag strips and stuff myself in the real world. Can you, for the people listening, talk about the differences between what a racing simulator is on, let's say, Xbox with Gran Turismo and this game? And the reason why I bring that up is because I myself, racing games, love them, play them only on consoles. The first time I ever played this game was at SEMA. I worked for an exhibit company, and Mazda set up a whole rig for a drift car rig based on basically this service. And when I was there helping set up the booth, having this in, of course I got to play with it. And I thought, oh, well, yeah, I'm really good at Gran Turismo. I'm going to be fine at this. This is fine. Handbrake, how hard could it be? It was really hard. And I was really bad at it. And I thought how different could it possibly be? But it's way different. So could you kind of talk about like why this service is worth $99 a year, and why it's not the same as like what you would get out of Gran Turismo.
So they don't get stuck playing people like you, Justin.
Right, because otherwise jagweeds like myself show up and they're like, oh, I got it. Like, you know.
Absolutely. So, kind of think back.
Uh-oh.
I didn't. It wasn't me.
Oh. I got some cutout.
Hold on, George. We're getting some drop.
Nope. No, that's still lit up.
Yeah, no, it's we're getting drop on the
I
Skype.
didn't even know what was running too, so.
We are getting a Skype drop. Hold on
Just a minute, George, if you can hear us.
It's your little doodad just knocked out the internet.
Yeah, I knocked out the internet by plugging my thing into the battery here.
Doesn't like vaping.
Does not.
I'm kind
All
of
those extra, air particles moving around.
I'm really interested in the hardware in this for some. I'm not a big hardware.
Oh, no,
so
no,
I got
no.
this. I'm like,
Technologically,
hardware
it's
is
super
cool.
impressive.
Yeah, again, the fact that you use force transducers.
Okay, we can hear now.
Okay, George, can you hear us still?
Are we ready? I hear you.
Yeah,
All
sorry,
right,
you
go.
dropped out there. Continue on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the thing that I recall most from console gaming is when you pass somebody, right, and you can't get around them. What do you usually do? You slam into them when you're about to make the corner, and you keep going, and the cars slam into each other, and it's also the other thing too with like console gaming, you don't feel the tires. Like it's so cool. Like with iRacing, like you feel the tire fall off. The big difference is like from a console and to like say for example like our league, like our members, they can sometimes, like if we're going to a road course, they will put in 2 weeks of their heart and soul to practice and prepare. And when race time comes, you don't get to just smash into anybody, because if you crash, if you go off track, you smash your wing, your arrow, your race is over, and that's it. You don't get any more chances. So there's no reset button, so to speak. It's a lot. So like for someone who's like really wants more out of their racing experience, iRacing is the place to go. I mean, if it's like I said, it's the closest thing you can get to being in a car.
Well, it's kind of how you mentioned earlier with like the bumps in the road, because the rig that was at this trade show, obviously they had the best stuff, like so they had like the whatever you call like the rumble seat, and they had all that stuff, and I just remember it really like my heart like sort of racing, like because the idea that and feeling the tire wear even too. I mean, you can feel that in the steering wheel, and also the feedback in the steering wheel. From my perspective, was the thing that you really don't get in playing. I mean, this, and I don't know much about them, which is the only reason why I brought up the Fanatec wheel earlier, is because that just happened to be the one that we put in this exhibit booth. But I mean, it just about broke my wrist. I mean, that thing. I mean, and again, it wasn't exactly this, because this doesn't have like a drift specific sort of setup. But the idea that like you're turning and you're sliding, and then you let go of the wheel, and that thing whips back. And it's like if your hand was in there, like goodbye. Like it's
really the difference between force feedback, which was force feedback started. It started a while back. I know in the '90s, I think we were.
Oh yeah,
we were starting to play with.
We had a lot of rigs.
It was a lot different from what happened when consoles got a hold of it and turned it into what's called the rumble function. We used to just call it the rumble function, and they were plug-in packs that would rumble your controller.
Right,
sure.
And there was a big difference between force feedback and rumble.
But there were a lot of wheels in the '90s
that had real force feedback.
Like the PS2 and the Xbox.
I remember
original Xbox
that had it.
Oh God, yes.
Even flight sticks would just wrench your freaking hand off.
Yeah.
They were great.
No, they did. They
were great, but rumble was a lot less expensive to produce.
Yeah.
And it
Somebody went
started
rumble.
getting some wide exposure. It's kind of funny because we've kind of started to blend force feedback with rumble function, and I think that's a big important difference between what goes on like in console games and what goes on in PC games.
Right.
If you've got the right equipment. Now PC games have kind of dumbed down over the years
Yeah.
with this. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, by the way. I think there's plenty of great racing games out there for all types of people. But it's just a fact of the thing is that real force feedback, you don't get to see real often. You're so amazed when you feel it. It's just, it is great. It's just that story you told me. It's just like, I brought that all back.
And that's literally, like, for anyone listening, like, that's the only thing I could say is, like, if you consider from a console standpoint the gold standard being Gran Turismo, I mean, there you have cars that are, laser scanned engines all sound different. Like they do the best they can to try to make the cars handle like they would really do. Like a 65 Camaro is not going to handle like a McLaren F1. It's very different. But then even this, which again, it's not even as detailed as what he's talking about. It's a whole different world. I mean, it really is.
The big thing too is the field sizes. Again, like for us, for example, with max of 44 cars. And the other thing too is it's all human.
Right.
Human drivers. Some of these racing sims. If you're driving by yourself, you're using the AI, and it's just AI versus an actual human.
Well,
it's never going to match up.
Well, even we did the linked Daytona, and it had 16 cars, but it also had other cars too.
Yeah, the AI cars.
So they had AR cars, and it's like which.
That was a great time.
Yeah,
That was all. Every one of us would have been hauled off and arrested if that were real life because we were all drunk as skunks.
and we just ran into each other.
Which
you already pointed out is a big difference.
What I just pulled.
You still there?
Hello?
George?
George.
Yeah, no, I may have.
Oh, you're really.
That's an interesting question.
So George.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay. I really want to ask him about if there's any equipment that's considered
You
banned.
got it. Pull the no, pull that.
Hold on.
Okay.
World's most professional
that better?
podcast.
We're in them.
Okay.
Hey, you're back! Alright,
How's that?
so
it's all tied together.
when you were
When
you were talking about this is the one shot. This is your one shot deal. This is the roguelike
Oh Jesus!
of racing.
Roguelike.
Did you have to go there?
Do we have to start this again?
Sorry, I had to go there for there. But so you come in for a pits because your tires are getting a little worn, and you need to get some pits. Are the pit crews equal for all teams?
Well, I would say yes and no. I mean, the sim handles your pit stop, but that actually goes back into the driver's hands because you can slide through your box, you can not hit your marks, and that translates into the sim. So if you don't get into your pit box straight and hitting your marks, then that's going to translate to a longer pit stop.
Okay, so you're calling, you're in the cockpit, you're a few laps out, everyone's coming in, splash only. Can you call what you want in the pits?
Yes, so we have a black box that's available to us on screen, and you can select tires only, how much fuel you want. But again, like I said, some guys, they've got live spotters. You can actually have a crew chief handling all of that.
Okay,
for
so you can. All right.
So that's part of the programming that another person can control other elements.
Yes,
like, all right, we're
spotters,
going in
live
as a
crew
team
chiefs,
now.
and live
That's impressive.
telemetry.
It is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
So a lot of guys, they'll run 3 monitors, right? So you have your center monitor, and then you get the peripheral view out of the left and right. Some guys will run a 4th monitor up above the center monitor, where they're getting all of their timing and scoring live during the race. So it's pretty cool.
What's the most common? Have you noticed as far as 1 monitor or 3 monitors or?
Yeah, you know what? I would say, well, there's 2 things. So the majority of the guys are running a triple monitor setup, but a lot of guys are now starting to move towards VR, and it's becoming very popular with guys. They're saying that again, that immersion factor is it's raising the bar, and for some guys, it's translating into faster lap times. So
It is.
That ties into a question I want to ask now. With all this different technology, customizing your rigs and stuff like that, is there any equipment that's considered like banned or taboo that people shouldn't use, or you like it's kind of just seen as like something you shouldn't use when doing setups and stuff?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, really, there's you have your major manufacturers of all types of different pedals and wheels, and iRacing senses the input from whatever, like for example, your brake or your throttle or your steering. So, No, I really don't. I've never heard of it. I mean, it's basically just all your standard gear. And the varying, I guess, levels of how well that equipment performs. But yeah, nothing banned.
Okay.
So I was listening to one of the races, and you guys actually even have a commentator. Like you're talking, you got pit crew, but you also have people commentating the whole race.
It's very, very exciting. Yeah, so we've been with our broadcast partner. They're called the Global Sim Racing Channel. So all of our races are broadcast live on YouTube. Those broadcasts also carry with them a director and 2 announcers, and they also have on-screen graphics and overlays. So literally, it is mirroring and rivaling what you would see on a real-world broadcast. It's really, really cool stuff, guys. A lot of fun.
What's your live viewership like? What kind of?
It is the global.
The live viewership, it varies. Probably somewhere it varies, maybe 50 to maybe we're hoping more this season. We've brought a lot of sponsors in, like I said, so we're trying to kind of tap into some of those guys. We're very hopeful that maybe we can get 150, 200 people watching every race. Now, the views after the race seem to, they go up because a lot of times the drivers are watching, their families are tuning in. Our races run a little bit late, so I know that might be something that kind of affects that, but it's just a time slot that we've fallen into, and it seems to work really well for us. So, but yeah, I'm confident the views. Collectively, it was in the thousands between both series last year. So hopefully we'll get more total views this year.
Wednesday night?
Wednesday nights is the IndyCar, and Thursday nights is our Retro Series. And the races go live at 9:35 Central, and the green flag drops at 9:50 Central.
So it's starting next week.
Yeah, so we're starting off with our All-Star race for our Lotus 79. So you'll see some of our best guys from last season. That's going to be at the Homestead Roval, so it'll be a road course. That's pretty exciting because you use a little bit of the oval, and then you've got the infield road course. And we're going to kick that off on like I said, on the Roval, and it's a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a fun one to tune into. And then the opener for the Lotus will be March 15th, and that'll be at Homestead Speedway on the oval. That's kind of been our tradition for our season, that we kick off our series at Homestead, and then we finish at Auto Club Speedway. So pretty cool.
Whoever did your intro, by the way, is pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? That's one of the cool things. We actually have a really good team. The amount of work that it takes to run something like this at this level is huge. And I certainly couldn't do it alone. I mean, we have a team of writers, we have graphics guys, we have video editors. We've got guys that are basically like our stewards, who are in race control during these live races. We've got guys reviewing races.
Go on, camera 2. Go on, camera 2.
Larry.
Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, don't listen to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a great team, behind us, helping us do that. But yeah, that's one of the things we do. These kind of video recaps on a weekly basis. They get put up on the website, so people can kind of go and see the highlights from our previous races, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, guys, do we have any more questions?
You had some thoughts?
Now, does iRacing, maybe not so much your league itself, but iRacing, besides, it's 40% off right now, but, promotional events where they go to, any gaming conventions that get the word out there? Because, I see things about racing game stuff all the time. Had no idea until we're going to do this episode this whole world existed, and I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, you know what? I guess I would take that to their head of their marketing, but a lot of times when you go to the racetrack, you'll see some rigs set up there. But I think that along with the whole esports thing and how it's kind of starting to
That's why I was
take
thinking of
shape
that.
and really take off and blow up. I feel that there is a place for motorsports in the esports world, and I think obviously iRacing should be the ones to kind of carry that flag.
Now that goes to kind of my follow-up question as well. Now, obviously, there's all these leagues and stuff now. Are there like official like major leagues, or is it just like they have leagues that are like bigger or more popular, or is there anything like that's officially sponsored by iRacing itself?
Well, see now, like obviously iRacing has what we call like the official side of iRacing, where they're your public racing series. I mean, they have the Peak Antifreeze series that's sponsored, by Peak, and the winner of that, there's literally like guys who are professionals in the sim racing world. So those guys who compete in the Peak, I believe the winner can win 10 grand in cash. And some of those guys have been so good in sim racing that they actually have picked up rides in real world motorsports. So it does translate.
Wait. Earlier today, you had 10 grand, so apparently you're one of the major ones.
In total prizes.
I'd like to think so. I think we've gained a lot more recognition since we started, and I think we certainly have not reached a plateau. There's a lot of things that I have in mind and have in store, and things that I want to accomplish with this league. And we're just getting started. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's infectious. Like I say, we have a great group of drivers. I have a great team behind me. So and now look, I'm on your show.
Hey! Okay. By the way, it's probably just gonna blow up in Brazil. Just
yeah. There are places in South America
that are going to be really fascinated with it. So, George, if somebody's interested in your league and maybe possibly joining your league, where can they find you at?
Yes, so come check us out, LionheartRacingSeries.com. Visit our website, click on the contact tab. You can go ahead and fill out an application. We'll get that. We'll touch base with you guys. We'll send you out a whole packet of information, our rule book, just a whole slew of stuff kind of explaining everything that is about the league. And then we'll get you signed up, come in and start running some practice sessions with us. And who knows, before you know it, maybe you'll be racing with us in the official series and hopefully winning some big money and prizes. So yeah, come check us out.
Okay, that brings me to another question, George. So there's the $99 for subscription for iRacing, or if you get it 40% off, quite a bit cheaper. Is there a separate league fee? League fee?
Yeah. So for the IndyCar side, it's $50. We're still growing our retro series, so we're being really fair to the guys. It's $10 for the retro series, but we're still giving a lot back on the retro side. It's probably about $4,400 in cash and prizes. I mean that basically is coming a lot from our sponsors. So we definitely thank all of them for stepping in and offering up a lot of these prizes. But the cool thing is, you know what? For the last since we started actually doing an entry fee, we're so lucky we've been able to have enough funding where we give back 100% of the entry fee to the drivers in the form of the purse. So it's really cool. So the IndyCar side is going to be about $2,200. Retro Series side just $500 alone in cash. So we're obviously always looking to grow that. But it's something cool. And we pay out through the top 20.
Right. Just a real quick side question.
Yeah.
Favorite retro racing game?
Oh, good call.
Oh, Indy 500, the simulation by Papyrus.
I remember that one.
Yes, I played many a nights, many a days playing that. And as a matter of fact, it's my understanding that some of the team members from that helped develop Indy 500 simulation work or helped start the iRacing.com service. So cool stuff.
We will have links.
Right.
We will have links to the Lionheart series on our website. We will have links to the iRacing on our website. We will also put links to their sponsors to give them a big shout out for sponsoring this. So make sure to check out their sponsors as well. We'll get those links from you, George, over the next few days, so we can put those on our website as well. Anything else, Rob, before we wrap this up?
No.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up. So besides
We don't want to tease nothing.
we're going to tease a few things
Oh,
next.
okay.
I was just going to wrap it up with George first.
You've been teasing.
Okay,
on Facebook.
So we've got two big events coming up.
Yeah.
One's a little bit bigger than the other one, but we have two events coming up. Rob, what might those events be we have coming up?
We're going to be hanging out in Not Your Parents' Basement. That's coming up soon. It's going to come up right after
March
St.
26th?
Patrick's Day
There
holiday,
will be benign
which,
guns.
yes, for us is a complete holiday. If we were working Saturday, we'd be taking off Saturday. But instead, we're just going to sit there and drink.
So, if you're interested in
And shoot
retro
benign
gaming, we are going to have systems from the 70s, 80s, and 90s at Not Your Parents' Basement. On March 26th, we're doing a retro game day there. Make sure to stop in, check them out.
Some you've probably never seen in person.
Oh, I guarantee you, systems you have never seen in person. We're going to bring out some real rarities there, and we are just going to have tons of games and set up to play, and games you just can't play anywhere else. So definitely check that out. But after that comes
Midwest.
Midwest Gaming Classic.
So, as you all know, our big event of the year is Midwest Gaming Classic. This year, we are really doing it up in style.
We start planning for next year the day after.
Yeah, it's true. We really do.
2 days after the hangover.
Yeah, well, no, fair enough.
And unpacking. But Midwest Gaming Classic this year is going to be even bigger than ever. It's at the Wisconsin Center in downtown Milwaukee.
1,500 square feet of guys' games.
We've got 3 times our normal space.
Oh, you thought Larry's Gun Corner was good before?
Oh,
it's going to be huge!
It is going to be huge this year. We have got so much stuff going on there. We are going to have the usual things and some things you just cannot see anywhere else. We have a special surprise we're working on. We're teasing out right now. Larry is so excited about this one too. He just wants it up and finished. He's just like, finish it! I want to play the damn thing. We've got some really big surprises coming
I'm
up.
excited for that so much.
It's going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing. We've got some really cool stuff
We'll
coming
have
up
to
in the
fight
Midwest Gaming
people away
Classic.
from it.
We
in a line, please.
Yeah, we might have to time people out on that. But we are working on that as well. There's going to be so much cool stuff. Lots of giveaways at the Midwest Gaming Classic as always. If you are a VIG, trust me, we are going to hook you up at the Midwest Gaming Classic. So I think they may still have VIG tickets left, Travis.
I do not know. I haven't checked.
Okay.
I thought they were out.
They might be out. If they have any VIG tickets for the Midwest Gaming Classic, get your VIG tickets. They're well worth the extra few dollars to get that kind of access. Friday night they run late. You get to go into all the rooms, check out all the stuff before anybody else gets a chance to see it. You also get to get into the vendor hall early on Saturday morning. So if you're looking for something special, VIG ticket's going to help you out get that something special.
I'm looking for special.
So definitely check out the Midwest Gaming Classics website. If you haven't been there, make sure you get your tickets in advance. You can buy them at the door, but
Go to the website.
Last year they sold out on a couple of days, so you don't want to wait.
Yeah,
Go to the website, get your tickets in advance.
It's a hell of a deal.
Oh my God, yeah, $50 for the weekend, dude. How can you go wrong?
You can't.
I know. All right, Ralph, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
All right, thank you for watching Guys, Games, and Beer. If you like this, of course, you can subscribe to us on all the podcast aggregators, including
wait a minute. Hi, Ashley.
iTunes.
Hi, Ashley.
Sorry. Ashley's online.
Everybody's watching.
If you happen to be
Everybody's
Ashley, you
watching.
should subscribe to
'Cause
Guys,
we're that
Games, and Beer
sexy.
on iTunes.
All right,
You
continue.
can check us out at www.guysgamesandbeer.net, where we finally got rid of that top bar. Thank God. You can check us out. Hey, stuff all week on Facebook.
Where you can still get Tony's game.
Oh, for goodness sake. www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer. Free game giveaways on Twitter @guysgamesbeer. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. And we'll see you yet again next week for a special episode of Beer Court. And we are going to be having Hack Night.
Yes!
There's going to be a Hack Night every other week leading into the Midwest Gaming Classic. So
What are we
keep
doing
an
with
eye out
Midwest
for
Gaming
that.
Classic? What number episode?
Oh yeah. Midwest Gaming Classic is the big number 300. That is 300 episodes.
300
For a
episodes.
podcast that was
Oh
never
my
planned to make
God.
it.
Man, we've punished the world a lot.
I know we
lately.
have. Holy cow. 300
Very soon, you'll be able to listen to Guys, Games, and Beer every day for a year. You will want to kill
poor
yourself after
bastard.
that.
All right.
Thanks for watching. We'll see
Cheers,
you next
guys.
week.
Cheers.